Hi, I'm Natasha from Findlay Creek Soap Company. Today I'm making charcoal and green clay soap with tea tree essential oil. I start by measuring the lye solution. It is very important to handle lye safely. I am wearing gloves, long sleeves and pants, and closed-toed shoes to protect my skin and safety glasses to protect my eyes. Kids and pets are out of the area, and the workspace is well ventilated since the sodium hydroxide can release fumes when mixed with water. It's also important to add the sodium hydroxide to the water and not the other way around. Adding water to the lye can result in a violent reaction. It's not something that I've experienced because I've never done it this way, and I hope the same is true for you as well. This soap is inspired by a video from Royalty Soaps, which I've linked in the description below. I've been curious about making a charcoal soap for a while, and tea tree oil is a great complement for that. That said, this is not a copy of Katie's soap. I really like the green and black colors that were in the Royalty Soaps design. But for my own soap, I wanted this to be extremely gentle for sensitive skin, so I decided to stick with natural colorants only. As it happened, I had just purchased some French green clay and was also curious to see how it would perform with my recipe. I wasn't certain of how the final color would turn out. I just knew it wouldn't be as vibrant as the Royalty Soap's green. I was, however, confident that the clay would contrast nicely with the charcoal, and I wanted the design to primarily focus on this contrast. The recipe for this soap can also be found in the description box. I use Soapcalc.net to calculate the amount of oils, waters, and lye needed in a batch using these percentages. I believe that this is the most adaptable way to formulate a recipe. Using these percentages, I can very easily use Soap Calc to adjust the amount of soap that I want to make and keep the characteristics of the soap consistent across batches. The weight of the water I use is 28% of the total weight of all the oils, but this can also be adjusted. I find it fascinating to experiment with the water amounts and see the impact that it has on the saponification. That said, the weight of the water should always be more than the weight of the lye to ensure that the lye is fully dissolved before adding the solution to the oils. In my first example at the wood grain technique, I had increased the amount of water in an attempt to keep the batter fluid longer while pouring. I also oven process the soap, which I do for all of my batches. I also oven process the soap, which I do for all of my batches. I also oven processed my soap, which I do for all of my batches. This is when you put the soap into a warm oven to cure in order for the soap to go through gel phase and get the nice, bold, bright colors. I had forgotten that adding extra water also increases the temperature of saponification. So unfortunately that, plus the warmth from the oven, resulted in glycerin rivers and the soap having a weird bumpy texture in spots. Both signs that the soap was warmer than it needed to be. When I increased the water, I should have skipped the oven process for better results. Thankfully, both issues are purely cosmetic and don't have an effect on how the soap performs. I wanted to keep the colors separate at first, but didn't need it to be exactly down the middle. So I'm going to pour both colors on either side of the mold at the same time. This was faster than using a divider, not to mention fewer things to clean up afterwards. Then I'm going to do a hanger swirl to blend the two sides together. I've not been able to find a hanger swirl tool to purchase in Canada, at least not one within a price range that I'm willing to pay. So I decided to DIY my own and was eager to see how it would perform. I didn't have a wire clothes hanger to deconstruct, so I used a piece of lightweight bendable wire that I fed through a length of silicone tubing to make it easier to clean. Overall, I'm happy with how this soap turned out. The tea tree oil smells really good and behaved very well in the soap. I was not really impressed with the lack of swirling from my hanger tool. I think the tubing I used was too small and didn't pick up and drag as much of the soap as I was hoping, so there's a lot less swirling than I had envisioned. I have wider tubing and look forward to seeing if this will make a difference. I still think the soap looks great without the big swirls. I like the contrast between the two sides, and I think the lack of swirl really highlights this feature of the design. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you'll join me next week for our new project.